Yeah, Country Shape, you've got that little jellyfish or Metroid running around. Almost time. Almost. A few last things and I'll count down with the introduction. All right. Hello, everyone. Alucard's YouTube channel, as I'm now called, or Adrian Tepes. And this is another episode of Whatever Happened to the Game. So this week we're going back to talking about video games, and it's talking about Super Metroid this week. And I'll be re-releasing some older episodes as a non-stream, but actually as a video, so that you can see and get access to audience members, which are not available to see however the algorithm works for the live stream. So today is a Super Metroid, and welcome, Albeleo.
Apologies, I'm being late.
This is a little earlier than before, but I tried a new way of introducing the live stream to make it look a little bit more professional. So you're not late.
I did like the SNES opening there.
Oh, anytime. Trying to make the streams look better than I used to.
I gotcha.
So, gaming news. Square Enix has stated they are still in deals to release Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth on the Nintendo Switch 2 next year. Now we're having one of the earlier multi-console releases with Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight having a simultaneous release on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch 2 around the same time next year.
Oh, interesting.
A major leak of the most recent Resident Evil remake, Code Veronica, they leaked like game footage and notes from it somehow on the internet. So that's the notorious leak right now. And
really,
yeah, Diamond Blades. It's a game with RPG elements published by Gamescom on Steam, and it's been described as first-person Diablo.
Interesting.
And yeah, last item is Bungie CEO Pete Parsons has resigned from being CEO of Bungie.
Was he CEO back during Halo?
Later Halo. He's a more recent CEO who became CEO of Bungie in the 2010s. He was previously at Microsoft, but he left Microsoft, and now he resigned from Bungie. He was notorious as a CEO for buying expensive cars while people were being laid off at Bungie. So a lot of people are glad that he finally left.
Well,
and the part where he resigned, implies that maybe they would kick him off if he didn't resign first.
Sounds like a lot of people really didn't like him then.
A lot of people didn't. So yeah, he was CEO for more along the lines of Destiny 2, and he was still CEO when they did the massive AI art combined with taking a previous concept artist's work for the new Marathon knockoff. I'm not sure how much of a hand he had in that, but that's been another big disgrace at Bungie this year.
I did hear about this AI thing. Wasn't it Halo art related, or am I wrong?
There was a previous artist who worked at Bungie. They took that artist's work without permission, copied it, and they also based their work on AI concept art for the new Marathon game. Now, Marathon was a spiritual predecessor to Halo, but it became a different thing. Like Marathon, as it originally existed, you can play it as freeware now with I don't remember what the engine is. It's on Steam. LF1. LF1 is the engine, and you can get Marathon, the original 1990s Marathon games on Steam for free now. The whole thing.
Oh, cool.
Old 1990s first-person shooters. So obviously Bungie wanted to make a new game called Marathon to keep holding on to the rights of the game or keep it from going into obscurity as a PlayStation multiplayer online shooter, but as of right now, Pete Parsons has stepped down and PlayStation has taken over some of what was Bungie's operations before he resigned.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think Bungie doesn't have much longer to go as a company in existence. It's had so many black eyes recently that I'm wondering if it's losing teeth at this point.
And all in all, I know you've got a lot of people that really love Destiny and whatnot, but Destiny, I think, is losing out to Warframe.
It might be. I mean, Destiny and Destiny 2 have been online for a while, and today, I mean, it's similar with a lot of entertainment. You've got to watch your budget of what you're spending online for subscriptions. You really do.
Yeah, well, Warframe being free to play and having as many things as it does, because I play Warframe a lot.
Okay.
So, Like every so often, every so often I come across people that are Destiny refugees in the same way people were refugees from World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy 14. It's like I was one of those people. I went to 14,
Yeah.
and it's like I see why both games have as much in terms of offering to people, because like there's certain things that WoW does better than FF14 by a wide margin, and then the reverse is also true with certain things. But in
Yeah.
Warframe, it's like there's so many characters that are all viable. There's the challenge is actually, challenging, unlike all the bosses just being bullet sponges. There's a lot of difference there that Destiny players are like, you know what? I like Warframe better. And it's like, all right, Warframe could be a lot better, but sure.
Yeah. So, Alex, for part of this, we're going to be showing how a recorded video, which is actually much more smooth than playing a video off of YouTube. So, I finally just decided to get video footage that I did of Super Metroid, download it off YouTube, put the video segments together into one, and we can watch it. And maybe you can see where things went wrong and how you could play it differently. So we'll see. But it should be a lot better than playing game footage off YouTube. Much more clear, because I'm just playing an actual video file on here. So now we're going to get started with Super Metroid. So at 3 release dates, North America was the middle one. Japan was the first. Well, it's fine. I mean, that's where Nintendo was at the time, really headquartered at the time. March 19th, 1994. North America, April 18th, 1994. And this is the rest. This is Europe, and East Asia is 1994, but it's July 28th. It's the third game in the Metroid series of games by Nintendo, because there's actually a second one on NES, which I didn't know until I actually...
2 was on the Game Boy.
Okay, yeah. So I was wondering where the 2 was. So it was on the original Game Boy without color. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I had my history with the first trilogy, because I Metroid is my favorite Nintendo franchise, and the first 3 games are actually really awkward for me because I didn't play 1 or Super until after Prime. But I also didn't have a working Game Boy. So my brother, he had the Super Game Boy cartridge for the Super Nintendo. So
yeah, that's fine.
That's how I played Super Metroid, or Metroid 2: Return to Samus.
Oh, so I tried playing Metroid years ago. So, but officially today you can get it off the Nintendo Switch store. So that's the easy way. That's the easy official way to get it, if you know what I mean. But I tried to finally finish it, and I'm working on finishing it now using the Nintendo Switch I got last year. So that's what I'm working on now. So officially, you have, of course, the Switch to play it. But
Yeah,
and to be honest, the way I did it was great because it got me interested in Metroid. So I actually got the GameCube Metroid Prime not long after playing that. It was the way I played it was essentially an advertising to me that got me interested in getting the games. And so that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and Metroid's history with Nintendo is really weird. I know all of us, I'm sure a lot of us like correlate Samus's fame to to Smash Bros, and therefore she's like Nintendo royalty. But in reality, Metroid was considered kind of a failure of a franchise. It didn't really go anywhere until Super.
Well, yeah.
A lot of people don't know
I
that.
mean, Metroid games were selling hundreds of thousands, which, it wasn't bad. when they did, when they didn't do multi-platform releases. I mean, one of the great things that we've had in this age where they release it on both PC and a console gaming device is that you can sell more units of the game that way. A lot of game franchises that sold multi-console sold more units. It happened with, BioShock compared to the previous System Shock games. I mean, System Shock was originally a niche horror game in the first person on PC. Well, for PC gamers, it was a real niche. BioShock, which is the spiritual successor, was less of one. And now some games, such as Legend of Zelda or Super Mario Brothers, those sold, even though they were just Nintendo, they sold millions back in the NES days. They were the cool game that everyone should try and get during the late 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every Nintendo Power I got that my brother and I had for 5-6 years. It's like the number one games were always Super Metroid or A Link to the Past.
Yeah, and Alex, part of what Super Metroid was is that it was somewhat of a difficult game to play. It was somewhat of a darker type of game to play. I mean, Super Mario Brothers with the music and the atmosphere in those games during the NES days, those are pretty lighthearted. Same with Legend of Zelda. It looks goofy. It sounds, lighthearted with the music, and all that comes together in contrast with Metroid, which sounds darker and it just sounds darker. I mean, Stellar Blade right now is selling pretty well, but I don't think Stellar Blade has quite the dark tone that Metroid had. If you know what I mean, Alex. Like, I do feel that there are some games that are female led that do decent.
I don't think I don't think that a female led game in the modern era is a problem, or not that it was ever a problem in the first place, because when it was revealed that Samus was actually a human woman and not a robot,
right?
Everyone was like, "What?" And that was a big thing back then. But that was way back in the 80s, and you had like zero female characters because even a lot of the male characters were
even then, it wasn't necessarily a female. It was a choice. Even in going to the 90s, it was often a choice between playing as a male or female character. Super Mario Brothers 2, which a lot of people don't want to mention. A lot of people don't like Super Mario Brothers 2, but you could play as Princess Peach as one of their choices in Super Mario Brothers 2. But a lot of people didn't like the exploration design and different mechanics of Mario 2 compared to the first
otherwise
one.
you had to go all the way back to like the original the original Final Fantasy. The white mage is the only it's the white mage and the black belt. It's like those are the only two characters in the only two female characters, and that's a choice,
right? And that's NES too.
Yeah, and even then, like a bunch of other games by comparison would be Dragon Warrior, because a lot of RPGs were doing that at the time, where it's just, traditionally, here's the hero, you're male, and you're going through your adventure. You have to really find more obscure things like, or infamous in this case, like Alien 3.
Yeah, like not even many of the, and also you had the Alien games where you were playing as Ripley, but it was a perspective and you couldn't see it. And those, of course, were the niche PC games, like floppy disk games. You put the floppy disk into the old PC. Yeah, so
it's crazy how advanced the Famicom was compared to the Nintendo NES that we got. It's crazy.
But the NES is solid state cartridges, so they can be pretty durable.
Yeah, they were durable and loaded immediately, but they also took away our save states because the original NES Metroid Famicom game had saves, just like Legend of Zelda did, but they took them away because they hate us. I guess I don't know. I don't know why they took it away.
I will say that the floppy disks were somewhat comparable to the NES, not the SNES. The SNES at least had a few multiple megabytes, but the NES cartridge, solid state cartridges, didn't have all that much data that they stored on each NES cartridge at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it did, because the Famicom was actually a PC. It wasn't the same kind of way a console is. The Famicom was an actual PC with an operating system, and you put in disks so as to not use up too much hard drive space on it. So some of the save things was the data that you could have on the actual Famicom hard drive storage. And there was a certain amount on the SNES, but it's solid state computing. It's a little different, but solid state computing is getting better today.
Oh, substantially. Could you imagine if we had like could you imagine if games came on a solid state cartridge like the Super Nintendo, but with modern technology, how big we could still make them and have instant loading because there wouldn't be any. It'd be crazy.
You didn't have to read a certain error in the disk. That would be great. But it's just that a solid state is a little tougher to break, but it, generally speaking, for a long time held less than the spinning hard disk did. But solid state has its advantages in that it's tough, it's rugged.
Mm-hmm.
So right here, these are the lead programmers, Yoshio Sakamoto and Makoto Kano, and one of the guy on the right is the music composer, and the left is the lead programmer. So it took him 6 months, so there was quite a delay. They were expecting to release Super Metroid earlier in the SNES run, but it got delayed by quite a while. So there was about 6 months for just to get started. That was the 6-month delay for the start of development. Then the development was 2 years. So it ended up being at the end part of SNES, where near the end of 1994, they would start releasing the Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn. So the delays made this game a little late, considering it was an SNES game.
Yeah, and the development cycle was like a year and a half or two? Like
2 years.
This was a long time for a game back then.
And they were delayed 6 months in getting the approval for it. So this is almost 3 years delayed, and it ended up being in the late part of the SNES. When they were going to, in the end of 1994, early 1995, was when Sega Saturn and Sony PlayStation would be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It became the first, and I'll have the video, it became the first Metroid game where you could shoot in 8 directions with your weapon. It's a little odd because you have to use the R and L buttons on the SNES to point up and diagonal without running. So aiming without running can be hard, and sometimes you fall off a platform because you realize, I didn't have to do the up and right or up and left buttons to shoot upwards and diagonally. I could have just used the R and L to shoot and not run off the platform when aiming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little odd for the control system. Takes some getting used to. But now I'm going to actually show the video, and we'll see if we can help Alex. This gives Alex some little hints on how to get through the first intro tutorial part.
Yeah, because platforming is hard.
It is. I'll skip the intro as best I can. All right, this is where Alex would be. So, yeah, the tough part about this, Alex, is you start with very little life. That's how this first boss works. Is it brings your life down to a small amount, and now you have to just get out of the station without losing the rest of it. So, carefully look at the Steam and time the jumps.
And there's a very brief window where you get to see Samus turn, and it's funny how so many people don't learn many of the side skills in this game.
Well, yeah. And there's also just, you have to keep your eyes open because there's so many places that are right there on the path, but they're not immediately visible where you have to go in. Like, yeah, there's a wall that you have to shoot out to get something. Like the spacer beam. When you finally get the spacer or split three-way beam that you fire, you have to shoot out a ceiling, which you can miss easily if you don't look carefully. So that's it. That's past the intro, but this is where you start on Zeebies or Zeebs from the first Metroid game.
What an atmospheric opening, too. Because you're just like, this place is dark.
Yeah. Not to mention that sometimes the music sounds similar to the first Alien movie, and, well, makes sense because you have a major villain called Ridley, named after Ridley Scott in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a secret in this room way up high, but you gotta blast out the wall.
But no, they keep it free of monsters initially when you get your when you go get your first power-ups with the morph ball.
Ah, yes, 8-way directional attacks sounds interesting, useful and helpful. Super Metroid 4, Super Castlevania 4 had it too, and I'm so glad they kept it in the games that came after, right? Castlevania.
Yeah, so the wall bounce is one thing that really helps you sometimes. You just have to reach out, touch the wall, and press jump right when you hit it. Oh. So, Alex, in the old NES and the old Famicom, they had a limited color palette. A really limited color palette in their games. Like, you can see it in Legend of Zelda, and you can see it in the early other early NES games like Super Mario Brothers. Now, when they had more data, because the number of possible colors that you have in a program increases the amount of data you take to play that program, because it's a possible property of assets in the game. I'm sorry I sound like such a tech nerd here.
No, you're good. You're good.
But one of the things about data in a program is the more possible states an asset of the program has, the more data it uses or consumes. So today, when they have these huge advanced assets for games that have so many polygons or particle polygons making up the assets, like characters, objects, and so on, and how those can change, that takes up huge amounts of data, like hundreds of gigabytes in today's games.
Yeah,
but
so
with the NES, with the NES, they just could only have so many colors because all the color options you have in it increases the data, and there's a limited amount for the NES cartridge. No, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's not so much that it's necessarily a retcon. It's like they did it because developers knew so little about the technology they were working with at the time. It's actually the same. It's the same reasoning why Nintendo, famously or otherwise, in the original Zelda, each of the maps were actually designed to. They were designed to piece together like a puzzle.
Right.
And they did this because the developers knew so little about programming at the time. They were like, okay, we got to try and save space, so let's make it thematic, but make them all puzzle pieces.
Yes.
And that's why they did that.
Yep. They also repeated tile patterns a lot because that saves data.
Or a lot of backgrounds past a certain like wall or ceiling were black, and it like the ceiling here where the HUD is. It also just happens to work really well because the HUD isn't impeded necessarily by other colors. But
right.
That's why a lot of these would have like a cutoff ceiling past a certain point, because you don't need anything past the box that you're currently viewing in that room.
Yeah, they've limited the amount of colors, so they're basically if you notice the way they show Samus, if you do the really fast finish of the NES game, is that she's all of Samus' characters yellow and red. So they later changed it because you can see in this game she has blonde hair if she dies and her armor comes off.
Yeah, or you just beat the game fast enough.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know, the best kind of endings.
Yes. The other thing I had problems with when I first played the game was that apparently you can always sprint. So I didn't realize that. I had problems like partway through this first area because there's a collapsing floor. And it's like, how can I get fast enough to get across it? Oh.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to realize that too, because I wasn't used to having a sprint button necessarily. Like the only other time I had it was Chrono Trigger.
Well, I knew they had sprint since like the early Mario games, like Super Mario Brothers 3. But
yeah,
that's Mario.
Yeah, and Super Mario World had it too, and a couple others. But a lot of the games didn't have a built-in sprint button. It's not a new technology by any means. It's quite old. A lot of games had it. The original Mario had it, but I didn't know Super Metroid had it because in Metroid 2 you move at a decent clip, so no one ever you never needed to worry about it. Same thing
in
with
the first Metroid.
Yeah. And then because I started with I didn't start with Prime. I played Prime second because Metroid 2 was the first one I played. And with Prime, you don't have any of that because you have the boost ball and everything else, and there's so much platforming. There is no need for a sprint.
Yeah. So Alex, part of this was they tried to make her kind of similar to Ripley because Sigourney Weaver is 6'1" actually in real life. I don't know why she doesn't seem that way in Alien. Maybe the other guys are tall too, I guess.
All the other guys are all very tall.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't realize it just because I guess Yaphet Kotto is pretty tall and the other ones are. But yeah, like Sigourney Weaver's over 6 feet tall. It's hard to realize it sometimes, but she is. And I think if that's the case, they also made Samus a tall woman. But at the same time, her armor is supposed to take up a lot of space too, so it makes her look bigger. She's inside a contained suit.
I read that wrong. Originally said to be 6'3" without armor.
Yeah, so she's 6'3" with the suit on.
No, she's her personal height is 6'3" now, isn't it?
I think it is.
Let me look it up real quick. according to Wikitroid, yep, she is 6'3" and 198 pounds.
All right, without the armor, gotcha.
Yeah, no, she's a tank of a woman. Like she's a full-on Amazon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because she also, because she's
Well, I think they understood. You have to have someone big to be handling. At least handling being athletic and handling big, heavy armor like that.
Sure. But she's also like this because of all of the years of training that she went through with the Kozo, because she also has their blood infused into her. So she's
gotcha.
Like there's actually a genetic reason, because she has been she's technically bioengineered to a degree, because the Kozo took her in after her home space colony was destroyed by Ridley.
Gotcha.
And she was taken in by Longclaw, I believe.
Yeah.
And when she was raised by him, he, trained her. They gave her their blood, and the blood is actually why her power suit works for her, because the power suit is designed to read Kozo DNA.
Okay. Other M?
Dread is actually probably a better example, because Ravenbeak also uses a power suit.
Gotcha.
So you can actually get the when you fight him, he's using a power cannon. He has their armor. You could actually look at the Kozo statue there for a moment. The Kozo statue has very similar armor as the power suit.
All right.
All the power suit is not unique to Samus. It's actually just an adapted version of it for humans. In this case, her.
All right. Yeah. So Braymore, I did this in increments when I recorded it for YouTube. So I'm not as flawless as it seems. I replayed stuff in the recording process and the editing. So I'm not that great. Well, I don't think I am. I had struggles with it.
But it was changed to 5'9", specifically in Metroid Other M, where most of the males tower over her. Was it changed in Other M?
Oh, let me see here.
Why would they change that?
I mean, that's not too short, though. That's not really short. It's still decent. Oh, and you're still going to look bigger with the armor on anyways.
I also just happened to stumble on something. She actually is blonde in the original game. The reason why Samus has red hair when you beat the game is because the vast majority of players have the Varia suit when they do, and beating the game with the Varia suit changes her original sprite colors too. Because she's actually she's not wearing a black undersuit. She's wearing it's actually red.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Here's the original Nintendo Power with the shield generators in the Spalders. I used to have this one with this image, and this is where she's wearing that like all purple bodysuit. It says here 6'3", 198 pounds.
Yeah.
So if they changed it, because I know they also gave her high heels in her
Zero suit.
So maybe they did retcon it, and I'm unaware of it.
They could have. I mean, either way, you're bigger with the armor. I mean, with the armor on, there's extra size to you.
Agreed.
I mean, unless armor is like the inside of the shield world in Halo 4 or 5, where it can take up less space than it should. But I think the whole shield world was a little ridiculous. It's like it looks like there's a star and a whole like solar system inside. I thought pocket dimensions were Marvel or DC things.
I hate that we're jumping straight into multiverse after the first movie. I hate that Superman's doing this already.
I mean, what they want to do is they want to get to a Justice League movie as fast as possible, and they rebooted the whole thing. So that's how they're going to do it. But they had a total disaster in doing Justice League the first time. I don't know. I mean, Samus is pretty agile. I'm going to say that much. I don't know.
So,
yeah, she's really mobile. I'm not going to say. I'm going to say that much. I just don't know. It's hard to know what Spartans would do. In the animated Fall of Reach, they were pretty agile themselves, but it was more creativity on improvising how to try and blow up or disable the huge Covenant carrier in orbit.
Yeah, in terms of Samus fighting a Spartan, if you took both of them out of their suits, honestly, I don't know who would win. Because the Mjolnir armor is what makes the Spartans as powerful as they are. They're not like... Am I missing something? Like, can the
Spartans have nanite? The Spartans have nanite augmentation and super steroids that they take. Even without, they're pretty durable, but they're more durable with the armor on. But they're still ridiculous without it. I mean, they took these Spartans in the Reach novels and they literally like ripped normal people apart without any armor on.
Yeah, but Samus isn't normal. She's, trained by the Kozo. She's got their blood infusions. She is a super soldier in her own regard.
Yeah. So yeah, it took me a lot of trial and error to do this when I realized you can you can jump off the wall. But yeah,
and if you know about where all the if you know where a bunch of secrets are before going in and fighting Kraid, you are stacked before you fight him. Because you can get like two or three super missiles before you fight him.
Yeah.
And you just obliterate him.
Yeah. It is. I mean, this is like similar to a lot of games. If you know where the secrets are, it gets a lot easier. Well, yeah, if you know what you're doing with Kraid. This was not my first time playing a lot of this stuff, okay? But, in Metroid, if somebody opens their mouth, then that's probably a weakness. Because a lot of the bosses, vulnerabilities are like, oh, his mouth is open, shoot a missile in there.
That's a lot of video game bosses.
Yeah. But it's almost every time in Metroid, though. This is where you have to use the early sprint. It's not super speed yet, but it works.
Oh, you didn't go up.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah,
you can freeze them later.
Anyway. Yeah,
you can freeze them later.
Yeah, but you still need the like the ice beam or whatever to do it.
Yeah,
because you have to get through that small hole, and as soon as they hit you, you come out of your spin.
Oh, super missiles. Actually, super missiles do kill them, but you have a limited number of those.
Yeah. And the Galactic Federation are interested in the Kozo tech. Yeah, I hate that they walked away from that. That one made no sense to me. I always really liked that the Federation really wanted to like imitate the ancient Kozo technology, because it made so much sense. Because if we're inefficient on our own with handheld rifles and everything else, it's like, why would we continue to use such inferior technology?
Yeah, so this is the part I made a mistake on. It's easier with the jump boots.
You actually had the very first time you went up there, but it was like a frame perfect jump, and you just barely missed it. Oh, and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible to sequence break the hell out of this game, and when you get to that point, it's like I've seen people fight Kraid like literally like as the last boss. It's like how. There's a very similar frame perfect jump that's very difficult to pull off in Mega Man X2, where you try to get, there's an upgrade in, I want to say it's either Wire Sponge or Wheel Gator's stage. I think it's Wheel Gator.
Wheel Gator.
And because you want to jump, it's like there's a specific pixel you have to aim for. You make the jump, and you can get up the shaft that goes to one of the early armor upgrades for X, and because otherwise you need Wire Sponge to get up there.
Yeah.
Or just you need the mid-air dash. Oh my goodness, you had it.
Almost, yeah. It's just hard to grab a ledge compared to an actual wall.
Yeah,
you gotta do because you have to do the flip to bounce off a wall. Oh, now it finally. Why did I? Oops. Don't get in their mouth. Don't hit the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good early secret.
Yeah, but it I think this only takes you to Criteria, right?
Yeah.
Surface.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, that's true. And even in the novels, like most of the Spartans were male, as it was.
Yeah. But I always understood the desperation of the Federation against the forces in Halo as like an unfortunate reality that they have to because of the
Covenant we're beating them.
Yeah.
Now these are easier with ice.
Much easier.
And this one just eats your health.
Yeah, you get a power bomb this early. It's so crazy.
Yeah, so many places you can unlock with one. Oh, so many places.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easier with ice.
Substantially. I always wonder what the Federation's real intention was for the Kozo tech. After Metroid Fusion with the X-Parasite, I wonder if they were trustworthy. I always just assumed that there was going to be a corrupt force of some kind. I never really cared much for the idea that it's like, oh, well, we're doing the corrupt government again. It's like, well, why not, you know? Like, it's like there's only so many stories you can create, you know, so many combinations you can make. So I think this is totally fine.
Right. But they ran to the Covenant when they were finishing up with the rebellion part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing, like, actual...
so that...
I wouldn't mind seeing, like, X-Parasite infected, like... what's it called? Federation, sorry. I think that would be totally fine. I think it'd be cool to see.
Yep. It would be an interesting idea. So yeah, this game is heavy on secrets. And a lot of these I had to look up to know they were in existence somewhere.
Oh, you died here.
Yep. There you just see the glimpse of blonde Samus. But there'd be a lot more if I didn't edit and record this in parts.
Mm-hmm. I forgot how you do the shine ball secret with the power bomb. That power bomb secret ability is you actually could have done it right.
You could drop multiple because you just need to do charge shot before you turn into morph ball. When you turn to morph ball with a charge shot, you drop multiple bombs.
No. He's talking about the heal. You can heal yourself with a power bomb.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if your reserve tanks are depleted and your health, I believe, is 50 or less in your last tank, I think you drop a power bomb, and I don't remember if she automatically absorbs it or if she if you have to be doing the charge beam before you go into morph ball mode. I don't remember which one, but when you're in, like, your current state now at this moment in the video, when you do that, it fully heals you, or like damn near heals you, something like that.
Yeah, I think they just have I'm just wondering, because some things they haven't really done again on Death Battle.
Yeah, with enough skill, you could actually get all the way up to what's it called? The crashed ship.
Yeah, I want to have the grappling hook to do that.
I've done it before with bomb jumping. It's very tedious.
Ouch. Why did I go back? So yeah, I need to find an energy bank to heal. Power bomb. Why am I gonna do power bomb here?
I don't know. Because power bomb would have got you through there.
Ah, here it is. It would have.
No, not the charge bombs. That one is also a cool secret. Yeah.
And this is where I get the spacer beam if you don't miss the ceiling part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they point it right up there.
Right after you go through the door.
Mm-hmm.
First, let the block reform. Huh?
Also, there was
that
a
sounds
a fan conversion about Master Chief being one of Duke Nukem's bastard children with Samus. Oh, okay.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah, the internet is a place that exists.
But it used to be more wild than this, like say 2007 or something.
It was more free, I'll agree, but I don't know about wild. Oh, you missed the secret.
Well, they had the weirdest ideas. Like there's how many blogs with weird ideas on them.
Would you even be able to get back up now that I think about it?
So this is a part where it's hard to do it without the it's very hard to do it without the jump boots. Or you can do that.
Well, you can either do the perfect wall jump, or you can do the power. You can just do the bomb jump.
Right. But if you don't find that, then you want to get the jump boots.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where you get the heat-resistant Varia suit. So I would not normally recommend playing the game this way because I didn't edit out all my times I died in this, but it's easier. It's easier if you find the spare energy tanks that increase your total life before you go to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you overshot another secret there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right when you're running through that little room, there's that it's not a crevice, but there's like this like 2 block tall tear in the ground, and that's a secret.
Fan-made ROM hack of Super Metroid is Metroid Fusion. Okay.
Oh yeah, X Fusion, I believe it's called. Yeah, that there.
Well, now you can hurt these
no.
guys with normal shots.
Is it X Fusion or am I thinking about was it Kozo Legacy? Is that what it's called, Brian?
Ion Fury, is that it? Let's see.
X Fusion. Okay. Thank you. I wasn't sure because I know there's X Fusion, and then there's another fan mod which is really well made. I thought X Fusion was like Metroid Fusion particularly, not Super Metroid. Because there's one where, unless I'm thinking the same game, there's a Metroid Fusion mod, which is X Fusion, which radically expands on Metroid Fusion, and then there's and again, unless I'm wrong, there's one for Super Metroid where instead of all the rooms being big flat ones, like how many of these are, they actually added topography to the level, to the floors and everything.
So kind of 2.5 dimensional?
No. Like Instead, so it's all 2D like Super Metroid is.
Right.
But instead of all of the rooms being flat, there's bumps and everything that you have to jump over. The ground is actually, like there's a lot more platforming. You can't just sprint through each room.
Yeah, so when you have all those extra missiles and secrets before this, Kraid gets pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. I knew a guy who, I don't remember, I think it was Gen Con, and somebody, because I've made, and I still have the items to make it, I've made the bead art. You know what I'm talking about? The perler beads where you put it on a grid and then you melt them together.
Yeah, sure.
I used to make those at my old job, right? So I've made like Super Metroid Samus and all of that. I went to Gen Con and some absolute mad lad made the full Super Metroid Kraid.
Wow.
It was huge. The thing was almost as tall as I am. And I think it was like $500 or something like that. I don't remember if it's sold or not.
Wow. At these old cons, I think there'd probably be someone willing. I think there'd likely be someone willing to get that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, these games are, for a Nintendo game, they're relatively dark. And of course, power bombs make it easy to wipe out all the bugs.
Mm-hmm. I remember Hyper Metroid and Super Metroid Phase-On ROM hacks. Okay. Maybe it's one of those that I'm misremembering. Also, a corpse in a video game being eaten by alien bugs. Yeah, Metroid didn't like shy away from the horror in this regard, which is ironic that Castlevania didn't really touch on like real like horror elements like that. What, Symphony? Or
Symphony did some of it. Rondo,
definitely. Because
the 3D ones did
cinematic is the girl getting sacrificed.
Right, 3D ones did it, but it was Nintendo 64 graphics. Yeah, this is where I need the speed boost. Get this. Oh, why didn't I get the speed boost? Anyways, I'm going to go into the rest of this because.
Why are you jumping?
Well, because at first I thought I could sprint, but then I realized, I can't just sprint through this. I'm not fast enough yet. And that's where I finally decide, okay, the speed boost. No, wait, it's the floor, you idiot. Or past me, idiot.
I've wanted to get into a Metroid game recently because I've had that itch, like I mentioned last week. I want to finish up Doom first because I'm so close. Because Doom 2016 is almost done, and then there's Doom 3, and Doom 3 won't take me too long to accomplish.
Not an answer I'll give. Okay.
It's not a denial. No. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do Super Metroid or if I want to jump into the Prime games, because I was thinking about just doing the Primes since Prime 4 is supposed to be around the corner here.
Well, it's supposed to be on both Switch and Switch 2.
Yeah, which is basically the only reason I'm gonna get it at this point, is because it's Switch 1. If anything comes out after and it's exclusive to Switch 2, I will not buy it, which is a damn shame.
All right, so I'm going to get to us to the end. I realize time is going on, whether I want it to admit it or not.
AM2R is very good.
Oh yeah, it's decent. I mean, if I had no life, I'd probably do a live stream that's multiple hours long.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, a few more little bits for it is that it did have one of the earlier cases of having a soundtrack on CD by Sony Records in the same year. So before you got it released in Europe and East Asia, you got the Sony Records soundtrack with the songs from the game in it. Super Metroid only sold 531,000 in 1994. Additional sales over the next few years raised the number of units to 1.42 million units by 2003. They haven't really counted digital stores at this point yet, but it has been available for every Nintendo digital store early on, even the Switch through Nintendo Online.
It would be suicide not to have it available.
Oh yeah, it's iconic. So they didn't have any during Nintendo 64 for either portable or regular consoles until they came up with both Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion being the Game Boy Advance game in 2002. And this is where you finally have it in, I guess you'd say it's technically first-person Metroid. Although it turns to third person when you switch into the Morph Ball. Again, they made multiple sequels to Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime 4 coming to both Switch and Switch 2 as a cross-generational game. And here's a little preview of what's coming next. So, movie live stream for Mad Max, the original, and 2 game episodes. So there is Whatever Happened to the Role-Playing Games, Final Frontier or Space, and there is Whatever Happened to the RPGs, Sword and Sorcery. So those are going to be 2 interesting episodes. I
haven't heard Sword and Sorcery in years.
I thought about it for a title because I'm thinking, okay, this is mostly what happened for the other games, and I could talk about Fallout, but that's also part of what I call the golden age of role-playing games, where you made choices as a character that impacted the world, which is the big thing about the late 90s and early 2000s for role-playing games at that point. Did you play any of the Overlord games? I don't have Overlord games right now. I could see what I could do and maybe get one later.
Yeah, I think Sue was talking to me about those too.
And that makes sense. But I'm mainly going to talk about, it's archaic, but I'm going to be talking about Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights, and Planescape Torment. Those are all games based on Dungeons and Dragons, and in the Final Frontier or space RPGs, and when you're talking about Star Control, which you see the ship from Star Control on the right, and Escape Velocity, which is the one from, Escape Velocity is a series of shareware games, but underneath the old graphics for the 90s, there is a bit of plot and depth to them for that time. So those will be an interesting way to talk about those games from back then. So y'all have a nice time. We'll see you for a watch party of Mad Max. I'll have the link inside the chat room here for this live stream, so we can all watch it, and I'll share it in the chat as well if you don't want to be in the chat. And see you next time, Thursday, for Mad Max. Same time, same channel.
Have a good day, everybody, and I will have my Primitive War review later today.
All right. Should be good.
It'll be short.